So every once in a while, as I've said before, to get a project that's just like, this is just nice. This is one of those. It's a flail made spring steel head, well, spring steel and angle iron. The main flanges are 5160 spring steel off a 1-ton truck. The just angle iron riveting it together. Piece of steel forged place, riveted, chain, just scrap found in the shop. Forged rings holding it all together on a sledgehammer handle that I had modified a little bit to make it style. The original plan was to hold it like this, but honestly, I think holding it like this just works a lot better. And a lot of people I've seen when making flails, I kind of kept this in design too, is like you don't want your hand to be hit with the flail head, which is why that is kind of there, which I messed up the length a little bit. But honestly, if you're hitting your hand with this, you're doing something way wrong. So anyway, it's a nice little, well, big, heavy hitter. If you can't tell from the videos, the test videos are pretty fun to shoot. It'll go through just about anything once you figure out how to aim it, because like most pole arms or long weapons is like the weight's at the end of it, you just hit with the end of it, but this is like the end extends out because it's, you know, a chain. But it's pretty fun to play with once you get the hang of it. It's also kind of weird, like holding it like this, it's like awkward because the weight just, it moves. But once you swing it, it feels like a regular pole arm, like all the weight in the end just kind of pulls itself forward and does what it needs to. So again, I've heard a lot of people talk about whether these are historically accurate or not, and the general consensus is no. But I've never cared about historical accuracy for the stuff I make. I just make it because it looks really fucking cool. So anyway, hope you enjoyed the video as much as I did making it, and I'll see you next time. Or, well, after you watch the video. Watch the video.
Okay, so to start out this project, I have 2 sections cut off of leaf spring. This is a 3/8 thick, so just shy of 1/2 inch. I was going to use this part, but it has this nice indent in it, so not doing that. Anyway, this is 5 inches and this is 6 inches. The reason for that is I'm going to basically cut out partway through here. Actually, no, it'll be partway from the bottom up, and then this will be the top down, and that'll just be slid together to where I have, you know, a cross piece. Then we take angle iron, rivet it together, so that way it stays together. However, I want a little bit here so I have a thing so I can drill a hole and attach a chain to it. So that way I don't have to, I was trying to come up with different ways, and honestly that seemed like the easiest way. So that's why one is longer than the other. But I'm gonna start by taking my angle grinder, cut both of these out, throw them in the forge, and then flatten them because, you know, it's curbed. Not terribly, surprisingly, but again, just enough that I'm gonna want them flattened out. Okay, now that I have the steel flattened out, I have these 2 templates made out. Basically, well, yeah, they're gonna fit together like this, actually. This will be a little longer, so I'll have it drilled in. That's where my chain will attach. But basically, with these notches will cut out, they'll be cut out of the steel, so that way I can, you know, slide them together and then have them rivet together with the angle iron, as I intend. So I'm gonna mount it on. What I'm gonna do is just take a can of spray paint the well, template on there. I already got these marked out, so I can drill a was it 3/8? Let me look. I have the drill bit right here. Yes, 3/8, made in Germany. Didn't know that. Anyway, going to get that marked up real quick, then drill it out, and then get everything cut. Quick thing before we get back to work. The paint had kind of faded a lot after all the oil and stuff, but it's kind of held in the light, just like didn't outline with the angle grinder. So I'll be basing everything off that now. But yeah, if you see in the videos, like I have these weird cutouts, I literally just traced it with the angle grinder real quick before I went in last night. Okay, now that I have everything actually cut and shaped in this, as you can see, fits in fairly square. That took me a little bit, a lot of filing, more than I anticipated, but it worked. Now what I'm gonna do is take this angle iron, cut it to where it fits in there, vice grip it in place, drill out my 3/16 holes that go with the rivets that I have. My original plan was to have it like fit in like just here, but now that I'm looking at it, I think I might just cut it to where it actually fits like the full length and then just grind it to where it fits like on those. I think it's gonna work, I don't know. Worst case scenario, I waste 2 inches of steel, maybe. Probably not even that. So I'm gonna take my handy tape measure, figure out how long I need. Hey, 5 inches. Now that I think about it, I already should have known this if I measured everything too before. Either way, I'm gonna cut out 4 pieces of 5 inches angle iron, then take over to the drill press and drill the holes. Won't film that because the lighting in my shop is terrible. The only reason I have lighting over here is because I got like one of those like weird spotlight things sort of sitting there. Either way, gonna drill out my 3/16 holes, and yeah, then should be ready to do a little more cleanup, get everything made to where it doesn't look like that on the top, and throw this in the forge so I can heat treat. I also drill the hole here so I can attach the chain. Okay, so that was only much harder than I thought it was going to be, but it's done. A lot oily, but it's done. Actually pretty heavy too. And the rivets I got aren't really going to work, so I just got some 16th inch steel. I'll make that work. Either way, this is going to be the head of my flail. It's got some heft to it. Now what I'm going to do is heat treat, the spring steel, of course. Then I'm going to heat cycle these, so that way they kind of have like a more rough look to them, and they don't just look like nice and smooth angle iron that I bought at the hardware store, even though that is what I did. So I'm going to, heat treat these, and then once all that's done, I can rivet it together. I'll probably forge a ring here that attaches to the chain, which I found this nice rusty chain on the wall. I know it's on the wall because I put it there with a bunch of random chains from scrap metal. Most of them are on my anvil, the long ones anyway, but that'll be perfect for what I need. Then I'll just have to forge everything to fit. And then, of course, make the handle and all that stuff. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Heat treat this first. Okay, head's done. Got everything heat treated, tempered, sort of. I didn't really take a ton of time with it because it's a large weight. I didn't really, not sharpening it, nothing, so it doesn't really matter. I actually got it sort of riveted together. Didn't film that because that was way, way harder than I thought it was going to be. Has like 16 rivets on it, all of which is 3/16, just rod, nothing fancy. Anyway, so this is my head. Again, good heft to it. It's gonna hit hard. Got a length of chain cut here. Again, didn't want to cut it too long because honestly with flails, like you see how in like movies and games, they have like these like massive chains. You don't want anything too long. So, plus I'm gonna forge a ring that attaches these two, and I'll forge another ring that attaches it onto the pole, which I still have to kind of, finish up, but it's shaped. What I'm gonna start with though is I have this piece of a 3/16 by like 1 inch steel. I'm gonna take here, I've kind of marked in the center. I'm gonna like forge that in a little bit so that way the ring fits, bend it over, and of course have these areas kind of round out a little bit so that way it fits onto the shaft of the handle just a little bit better. So I'm gonna heat up the forge, start shaping that. I'll probably just use my vise and a ball peen, nothing fancy. There's nothing fancy about this built a flail. So then of course forge this center piece in so that way it's a little thinner. Then forge my rings so that way I can assemble everything into just one solid piece. Well, not exactly a solid piece, but everything will be attached together. Okay, so honestly, wanted to be done like yesterday, but anyway, still working. Got the weight. I got this actually together. I just went and had these are all just rivets, same way I riveted this. I was able to hammer them directly down, not having to use a weird, just other stuff, whatever could get a hammer down since it's open, but just 3/16 rod all the way through, hammer down. Actually, for eyeballing it, that turned out really well. I'm kind of surprised. I literally just used the vise, hammered it down. I didn't measure anything, didn't pre-do anything. I just said fuck it and did it, and it worked. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take some steel, forge a ring on here with the chain attached, and then forge another ring on here with the other end of the chain attached. I'll just do some scrap stuff I have lying around. I'm sure I've got something. So honestly, other than that, I just need to like just do a little bit of make this, you know, pretty, staining, burning, linseed oil, all that fun stuff. And it's ready to smash whatever I decide to smash with it.